Yo, what's going on, guys? Koi here. Okay, so this video is going to be about the trait system and what traits should you go for. You're not going to get a lot of trait tokens off rip, and it's going to be a hard like step up after you pretty much get to that level 30 and you get soft capped by the game's EXP system. So we're going to teach you guys how to pretty much get your traits, which ones to get, and explain why some are more important to get than others, especially for a lot of very specific characters. Now, we'll talk about the big three of traits real quick, which is Swiftness, Guardian, and Endurance. Now, believe me or not, these purple traits are very, very good. You get a 12% movement speed and 8% cooldown on Swiftness. On Guardian, you get negative 12% damage taken and 15% HP increase. In Endurance, you get 12% HP and then 12% damage. Honestly, if I were to be real, I would say Swiftness is probably the weakest one here, just because of the fact that 8% cooldown doesn't really do too much to a 5% cooldown, like a 5-second cooldown, you know what I mean? That's not a lot. Guardian, on the other hand, great for defense, but this is a game about getting damage. Without damage, you're not going to do a lot in the game at all. And this is going to be a running trend I'm going to be explaining to you guys. Endurance, on the other hand, 12% attack damage can make 100 damage go to literally 112 damage. It's pretty big. And you get that little bit of HP. So it's really, really nice. Okay. Next, we're going to be talking about Phantom. Alright, Phantom gives you movement speed, cooldown reduction, and a critical hit chance. Now, believe it or not, I think that this is a very, very solid one. Believe it or not. The reason why is because it has that 10% crit chance. It has 12% cooldown time. And the movement speed's just going to keep you moving. The real nice blitz. Even though it's going to be only a 0.2% difference. I mean, technically, whenever you see 1.2, it's going to mean 20 damage increase. 20% damage increase. So yes, Phantom has a 10% chance of really popping off here. And I think that, honestly, if you do get this one in particular, I would save the rest of your rolls for your next two characters after that. This is one of those maybe two must-have types. Draconic. Draconic is just solid, but it's not perfect. Anytime you see HP has to be greater, when HP is greater than, less than 30% of your HP. So if you're down to your last 30, you get movement speed and you get damage, raising you to 25% damage if you're low. But the thing is, you never want to get low. If you die, sorry about that. If you die, you lose your challenges and you lose time in the story. Like, there's a lot of reasons you don't want to die. And Draconic puts you too close to that part. Now, 15% damage buff, that's the only thing I would take away from this. Like, if you don't have anything better, then just keep that for now. 15% is 15%. Overlord. 1% damage per enemy defeated. Restores 20% of your HP on kill. I don't know where this caps off, but getting 20% of your HP on kill is really nice, unless you're fighting a boss. Colossus. Colossus gives you 20% HP, negative 15% damage reduction taken, and every 15 seconds you generate 3 seconds of super armor, which means iframes, I believe. Because the difference between super armor and hyper armor, you are getting hit, but you also hit them back at the same time. Super armor pretty much means iframes or invulnerability. This is nice. Is it like super necessary on the other hand? I don't know in particular. I think that this is a great trait. I don't think that this is the best if you need damage, but you're going to stay alive for so long. It's nice. It's just really nice. But we'll talk about it. Now, these traits. Celestial. Heal nearby allies, and get 25% damage reduction when HP is lower. than 30%. This is honestly terrible. I'm going to be entirely real with you. Don't pick this up. Throw it away. I don't care. You get way more out of Endurance 3 than you get out of Celestial. Abyssal, 20% HP, 15% damage reduction, 40% HP on kill, critical hit. Now, I think Abyssal is probably a great contender, only because of that 10% chance to critical hit for a 50% extra damage. That's the only reason I would take this. You just do like a move that does 1,000 damage, all of a sudden it's 1,500. That's nice. You're not dying as often. You're gonna stay in the fight for a lot longer than you think. That's good. This is a good trait. Bloodlord. This one only does lifesteal, 10% on kill, and it's just a lot of lifesteal. Honestly, it's forgettable. It's trash. I wouldn't even put this on my best characters, even if I had the choice. Bloodlord is trash. Warlord. This one, honestly solid. Every 10 seconds, you get that super armor buff. You get negative 15% damage taken, 25% HP increase, 20% damage, no flaws, and 10% movement speed. That 20% damage is nice. The defense is nice. Doombringer. 20% critical hit chance with a 1.5 times damage multiplier. That's huge already. When HP is lower, you activate destruction mode, causing your damage to go up to 60%, damage taken to 40%, and cooldown times by 20%. This is just an amazing thing. A lot of people give this one flack. The only thing I would say is only put this on characters that are like really, really good, and like you know they're going to do damage, because you want to trigger that 20% as many times as possible, as often as possible. The faster the character, the better. Yeah, honestly, really good trait. Now, what would I say should be the newbies' understanding? Like, what traits should you be taking as a new player? What traits should you be dissing as a veteran player? Let's get into it. I would obviously take Endurance over anything else here. If you get stuck with a Guardian 3, no, don't do it. Just go for Endurance. Phantom's nice. I would take Phantom. That's a good one. I would take Draconic, and I already do take Draconic, but only for like characters that I plan on doing a lot of damage with. And if they die, they die. Overlord, cliche, not really cool, unless I understand what the cap is on it. Colossus, not really good. Really, Abyssal is where it's at. Forget Celestial, forget Bloodlord. Abyssal's where it's at. This is nice. 20%, 15%, critical hit chance, all that good stuff. Warlord, fantastic. Damage. Doombringer, fantastic. Yep, so these are the ones you want. If you get those questions where you're like, but I got Bloodlord, is Bloodlord good? I got Celestial good. I got Colossus, is Colossus good? I'm just going to tell you to your face, no. Get stuff that only pertains to what you need, and what you need is damage. So I hope this video was enlightening. See you guys later, take it easy, and peace out, dudes.